Hello everyone, my name is Brenda Bennett. I'm also known as Sugar Free Mom, and my website is sugarfreemom.com. And I'm here today to share a new recipe from my new cookbook called Naturally Keto, which releases October 29th, 2019. And it is available now for pre-order, and that's why I'm sharing this recipe today, so you can see one of the most delicious recipes in the cookbook, this keto banana bread. I want to tell you a little about it before we get into the recipe. It's over 125 recipes that are all keto and low carb. They're all gluten-free. 50 of them are dairy-free, and another 20 you can easily make dairy-free. I have 75 egg-free recipes and another 115 that are nut-free, since I have a son with a tree nut and peanut allergy. So the first thing you need to do to make this banana bread is preheat your oven to 375 degrees and get a 9x5 baking pan and line it with parchment paper. Let a little bit hang over the sides to make lifting it out later on a lot easier. Now, you know, on keto, bananas are a no-no because they are high in sugar and we really can't have them in the banana bread. So obviously it's called banana bread, but it is banana-less. Don't be disappointed. Once you taste this, you will realize it's just as good as any banana bread that you've ever had. So let's get started with this keto banana bread, which is actually banana-less. The recipe in the cookbook actually makes 2 loaves of banana bread, but you can just cut it in half and make 1 loaf. I always like to have 2 loaves. One you can freeze, one you can give to someone in need or just someone having a bad day. Who doesn't want a banana bread? And that's how I grew up. My mom always gave basically the whole neighborhood banana bread. It wasn't keto friendly, but it was delicious. So we're going to start out with 6 eggs. Now I have chickens and ducks, and the egg sizes vary greatly. And store-bought eggs are usually pretty much smaller than the ones that I have. So if you're fortunate to have chickens, use them, but we use a measuring cup because I found this is the best way to get an accurate banana bread, so you will have the best results from this banana bread. So it's about 1.5 cups. So it might be a little bit more egg whites, it might be a little bit more egg yolks. It doesn't matter just as long as you measure it, and that's really important. I'm gonna get my bowl, my mixing bowl. You don't have to use a stand mixer. You can use you can just whisk it by hand if you want, but I find having a stand mixer is much, much easier and quicker. So we're gonna add the eggs to the bowl, and we're also going to have melted butter. Now I melted the butter a while ago, so it's cooled off because you certainly don't want to add hot butter to eggs, right? We don't want curdled and we don't want cooked eggs. Not yet anyway. And we're going to add that into the bowl. And then we're going to add 1/3 cup of water. You could also use almond milk or oil, but I've tried it all 3 ways. Water works just as good. All right. The most important thing that you definitely need for this recipe is what makes the banana bread taste like banana. Since you're not using bananas, I have banana flavoring. And you need a good amount of it. And it really is delicious, and it is worth it to buy the banana extract. I also like to add a little bit of maple extract. I find that it gives a nice warm flavor, and it's just comforting, and it works really well in this recipe. So this bread I actually adapted from my coconut flour bread on my blog, and if you've tried it, you know that it is fabulous. It actually tastes like honey wheat bread, and you don't need any special ingredients, just like you don't need any special ingredients for this bread recipe. I got lots of requests to make a banana bread, and I thought, why not make it for the cookbook? And it is definitely delicious. So the other thing I have in the recipe is vanilla flavored stevia. And you don't need vanilla, you can certainly add vanilla extract. I often just have a big bottle of clear liquid because it's just easier, and you can just use extracts to get those flavors. But vanilla stevia is really delicious in your coffee. So if you like that, I would say buy some. But clear works too. And I think that's it for the wet ingredients. So now we're gonna mix this up. Like I said, use a hand mixer, or I'm gonna use my stand mixer. Okay, so everything is mixed, all the wet ingredients are mixed. So now we need to mix up the dry ingredients. And I would really advise getting a scale to measure your dry flours and even your sweeteners, because, you know, coconut flour is much heavier and denser than almond flour, and there's different variations in the grams. So I've already measured out my coconut flour, but I would say if I did do cup and half cup measurements, but I would suggest getting a scale. Food scale is great. So to our coconut flour, we are adding some erythritol, and this is brown sugar substitute sweetener. It's packed really well. We're also adding some ground flaxseed. And in this small bowl, I have cinnamon, I have baking powder, I have salt, and I have some xanthan gum. And xanthan gum is something that most keto bakers know to use because it really it helps for adding texture like gluten would do in bread recipes especially. It gives you that nice chewiness that you want. So we're adding all this in, and we're just going to whisk it up. And then we're going to incorporate it into the wet ingredients a little bit at a time. And it smells good in here. I'm sorry you can't smell it. Who doesn't like that cinnamon flavor? So it's pretty much mixed. And the next step is we're going to just add half to the wet ingredients, and the mixer will do the rest. About a third at a time. And once it looks like it's all combined, we can add in the special add-ins like nuts if you choose, or chocolate chips. And there it is. It is delicious looking, and it smells even better. So now I'm going to add about a half a cup of chocolate chips to this batch. And if you had the other loaf, you could do a half a cup too of nuts of choice. Pecans, walnuts, whatever you like. Chocolate chips are always a winner in my house. I'm not measuring. It looks like a half cup. And then we just mix it up. All right, I see a little bit of egg white that didn't quite get incorporated, so I'm just trying to mix that up really good. And that's it. We're going to pour it in. If I can get it in without spilling, it would be a miracle. And it's in. Hooray! Almost. Oh, flap of parchment, get out of the way. Got to get it all. Don't want to leave anything out. And then you just spread it really nice. Even it out. Nice even layer. And then you can add more chocolate chips if you want, which I'm going to do because we like chocolate chips in this house. You want a little bit of more chocolate chips just to decorate, and we're done. Beautiful, beautiful. And we put it in the oven for about 40 to 45 minutes. All right, everyone. The banana bread has baked for about 40 minutes. I've checked it with the toothpick, came out nice and clean. In your oven, it may take 45. Just check it in the center and make sure it's nice and clean. And then we're just going to let it rest about 5 minutes. It'll be a lot easier to take it out of the loaf pan and place it onto a cutting board, just like this. Then we're gonna slice it up and butter it up. So I hope that you make this recipe and you love it. And if you do, I would love your comment on my blog. And I would love it if you would share this post if you're watching this from Facebook. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. I will be sharing more keto-friendly, family-friendly recipes. And don't forget, this actually comes from my new cookbook, Naturally Keto, which is available now for pre-order. It actually releases October 29th, 2019. Thanks for watching today. See you next time.